Biloxi blues, it happens every night. And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
Y'all know what happened.
The summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves
Trouble on my mind.
So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice.
Where we going?
See you
Come on.
another time. This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
No, I don't care.
Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Right to the hook, right here.
Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Low budget live, the not so live version from right here in the LBL Bar and Grill, Bar and Bunker. No longer, because son, the world is opening back up, and we just out here in it. We out here in it. What's up, you bunch of low-lifers? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new to the program, you are now a low-lifer. That is what the listeners of this podcast refer to themselves as. So whether you like it or not, you're now a low-lifer. You might not want to tell your friends. Maybe they don't want you to be a low-lifer. Maybe your parents don't want you to be a low-lifer, but I'm here to tell you, since you're joining us, if you're new, you're now a low-lifer. And all you returning low-lifers, welcome back. Welcome back. I get comments every week. Well, I guess I'm a low-lifer now, man. I tried to not be a low-lifer, but dadgummit, Luke Duncan, here I am. And I appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is the podcast for Monday, May the 24th. The year is 2021, in case you're wondering. In case you were wondering, the world is definitely opening back up. I had a crazy fun week because of live music, man. Live music. Got to end my week, me and the Triple Threat. We went down to Decatur, Alabama to the beautiful Princess Theater and got to see Brent Cobb and Kendall Marvel, 2 of my favorite singer-songwriters, man. If you don't know either one of those guys, shame on you, first of all. Kendall's a hit writing machine, and his own just solo stuff is just incredible. And then Brent Cobb is just, there's just no words. Brent is a genius. So got to see those boys acoustic, and it was just a good night. Good fun time. Little small theater, and it was awesome. Live music is just, yeah, I talked about it last week, I know, but it's just, can't get enough of it, man. Can't get enough of that live music. So hopefully if you love music, you're getting to get back out there and see some yourself. And it's just good. Man, it's good for my soul. It's good for my soul. So hope all of you are doing well out there. Another cool thing I got to do this week, the Tom Rolland Podcast. Tom is legendary saltwater angler, part of the Waypoint Collective that I'm a part of with this program here. And Tom is a guy, man, that I have incredible saltwater TV show for over the years. Incredible guide. He's just a class act, man. And I got an invite to be on the show, and I had an awesome time. So be on the lookout for that. I'll let y'all know when that comes out. But going to have him on here too. We got a lot of the same musical interest and real cool conversation with Tom there on the Tom Rolland Podcast. So be on the lookout for that, you bunch of low-lifers. So want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and I want to thank our sponsors. We're going to kick it off. We got a good one today. We got a fun one today. So I want to get cranking and thank these fine sponsors that make every single bit of this every week possible. And I appreciate y'all listening, and I appreciate y'all supporting these people that support us low-lifers. Like StarTron, they've been bringing you low budget live for going on 4 years now. Last year at the Classic, could not believe the support they gave me during the low-budget live that we had. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again one more time, Fort Worth, Texas, and I can't wait for that. But the folks from StarTron been supporting this, man, through thick and thin, no matter what's going on. These guys have my back, just like they have your back against ethanol. They kick ethanol in the teeth, in your weed eater, in your chainsaw, in your three-wheeler, in your daggum outboard engine, because nothing ruins a great day on the water like an outboard engine that don't run because of stupid, dumb ethanol. So put you a little dab in your tank. It'll get it out of there. make that outboard run good and clean. Ethanol sucks. Right here, kick it in the teeth with Star Charm. Appreciate those folks very much so. Also, the Star Bright cleaning, just all the cleaning products. I've been having to clean up the Express a little bit this week because it was filthy, not gonna lie, and been using a lot of that Star Bright on that. The wonderful people at Sims Fishing Products. I just got some new swag in. Check it. This is a cool new t-shirt. It's the Fish It Well. I love this shirt. But from the Solar Flex hoodie, which we're finally getting to use here in Tennessee because we're in the 80s and 90s now, and on the water on Friday and Saturday, I got to break that bad boy out. My Sim shorts. Love it. Love it. It's that time of year. But, of course, the Pro Dry rain suit is my absolute favorite when you're out there trying to stay dry. But Sims are going to protect you from all elements, from sun gloves to they got the face covers. They got the hooded sun shirts. They got, sun pants. My wife, the triple threat, gives me a hard time because when I go to the beach and stuff I stay covered up. I used to be when I was younger, before I had a beer gut, the fish with your shirt off guy. And I still see a lot of y'all out there. I see y'all, like the Todd Castledines of the world. I see y'all out there flexing on them on the IG. Stupid dumb Darian does that. But I used to be that guy, but man, now I'm like long sleeves, hood, and I just got some of these freaking sun pants that they have. Game changer. So my legs ain't burning up out there on the water on these hot days. When you're idling so much, because I'm graphing a lot, looking for fish on the Garmins, man, the tops of your legs when you're wearing shorts, they just get fried. So sun pants, I'm digging it. I'm digging that. So I'm here to remind all you low-lifers, you get one life. Fish it well, my favorite slogan. Pro Guide batteries, new for 2021, bringing you LBL, and they are powering around that Express X21, and I have been blown away by the 31 AGMs I've been running. They've got some big, exciting news coming up very, very soon, a launch of a new product. We're going to be talking about that. But if you would like to get you some of those Pro Guide batteries, get over to the website and use the code LBL10, and a lot of y'all have done that, and I sincerely appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Low-lifers showing out. And last but not least, the official boat of Low Budget Live and the Traveling Circus and all the shenanigans in Luke Duncan's life. Right over my shoulder. Hang the banner, baby. Hang the banner. Express Boats, the X21 Pro. Say it week in and week out. Y'all probably get tired of hearing me say it, but I'm going to keep on saying it. It's my favorite bass boat I've ever been in. It's a freaking beast. This Friday, I was in like 4-foot rollers on the Tennessee River, wind blowing against the current, stupid conditions, fishing offshore, and I get more and more impressed all the freaking time by this rig, and just everything about it, man, from the sea deck to just, I don't know, the room, the storage, it's just ridiculous. I'm so freaking proud to be running Express. And something very cool we are doing at the Classic, I know I announced last week, Low Budget Live. We are going to do it in person at the Library Bar and Grill on Saturday, June the 12th, starting at 7 p.m. We're also going to play some music afterwards to celebrate. Lots of things to celebrate that we will get into. But some of y'all, last year I remember in Birmingham, you're like, man, I got my kids with me. Can't be coming out to the bar with the kids. We love you, Luke, but we can't come. Get it. I totally get it. We are going to do a Low Budget Live from the Express Boats booth on Saturday at 1 p.m. Gonna have, like, the guest list is awesome. I'm going to actually broadcast from an X21. So if you're going to be at the expo, if you're going to be there, come by, say hi, and join us in the crowd at the Express Boats booth. And if you don't have your kids and you want to come absolutely throw down later that night, 7 p.m., Library Bar, Fort Worth, Texas, we are going to have another Low Budget Live. But all of this will be broadcast on my Facebook and my YouTube channel. So, and it'll be recorded for a podcast for those of you that like to consume this that way. So 2 podcasts coming from Classic Week. And I hope that you guys, if you're in Texas, you're able to join us for those. All right. So want to thank Express Boats for all those opportunities. They're helping with all of it, and they've been building excitement since 1966. All right. Moving on. I saw something this week that got me thinking. And I talked about this last week a little bit. But something that I feel like applies to our sport, and this is like a conversation thing that I want to just want to run by y'all. Y'all hit me in the comments, hit me in the DMs. I'll try my best to get back to you. I'm so behind on DMs always on Facebook and Instagram, but I try my best to keep up so much. But with all the other things going on in life, but comment. Unwritten rules in the sport of bass fishing. Unwritten rules. So what got me on this kick, and I typed in my phone, I was on Twitter the other day, like I am a lot of days, and this cat that plays in the MLB, I'm not a big Major League Baseball guy. I'm a loose MLB fan. Been supporting the Braves, Tomahawk Chop since I was a kid, but, I don't, Major League Baseball bores the absolute crap out of me until the playoffs most of the time. Too many games. But this guy, Mercedes is his last name. I'm not going to attempt to say his first name because I'll butcher it and you guys can all give me a hard time. In a 16-4 just blowout game, 3-0 pitch count, 3 balls, no strikes, swings on 3-0, goes yard, hits a home run. People losing their mind over this. Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame coach, whatever, says there will be consequences. There will be consequences. Like, just saying, buddy, you're going to get hit in the face with a baseball. Like, that, your teeth are going to get rearranged just because you decided to do that. Like, man, people just don't like to have fun. But it got me thinking, like, man, we don't have those kind of threats in bass fishing, I don't think, but we do have unwritten rules. And so, for me, I was like, these unwritten rules sometimes in bass fishing tournaments are just as important as those written rules that people get so carried away about. We have lie detector tests and so many things. But these unwritten rules, this has came up a lot during MPFL this year because we have no cut. We have no day 3 cut. All anglers fish all 3 days. So this conversation always looms around those events because, like, what if the leader has somebody come into his area that's in like 100th place? Like, how do we deal with that? And that's the biggest, for me, one of the biggest unwritten rules in the sport is if this guy is here on day 1 and he's leading or top 5, like, you just don't go in there. If you weren't there on day 1, or maybe if you didn't catch him as well as he did, you concede it. We see this time and time again, and a lot of times, guys just out of respect bail out. A lot of other times, we see people neck and neck jockeying for position on a spot, and it's really one of those just kind of it's not written. I've always said, how could we make that a written rule? It's hard to police. And then you would have just lots of scenarios that would follow after, or could potentially happen where guys would use it strategically to get somebody off their spot. So I don't know how you would ever write that, but what are some other unwritten rules? Comment if you've got an unwritten rule in bass fishing. I think without a doubt, the biggest one for me is the don't tread on me. Don't come in. If you see me in an area and I'm beating your brains out, you better not bring your butt in there. And that's like old school stuff. For me also it was, and this is something that I see younger anglers do more and more now that's become kind of acceptable. But when I was a kid growing up on the Tennessee River, like I was sitting on an offshore spot, like you didn't come in there. Like you didn't just show up and join me. You didn't just cast over my line like, oh, well, we're both here because there are a bunch of bass here. It was like one guy per spot kind of thing. Now people just pile up, and professional fishing has really led people to believe this is okay, I think. But it's just it's not. Like I had an instance with my boys the other night, right before dark. beautiful afternoon on Wilson Lake, and a lot of people out, and we're sitting on this school bass that I'd found, and we're anchor locked down there, and the boys are catching them and having a good time, and this dude just pulls up, and it's a very specific tiny deal, pulls up, grafts around us, puts the trolling motor down, starts casting over my line. And here's the thing, wrap boat, got my kids in the boat, so I don't want to just be full-blown jerk, but at the same time, like that's an unwritten thing. Like it's a courtesy thing. Don't pull in on somebody. Don't pull in on some. Give people their space. But we see that more and more and more as a summertime deal, especially on the Tennessee River, because our fish get real congregated offshore. People just think, oh well, you're there, so I'm going to be there as well. And man, it's just that goes without saying, I feel like, but that's one of those. So I guess what I'm saying with all this rambling rant is we should all start carrying baseballs and throw baseballs at people. It's unwritten rules because, there will be consequences. There will be consequences. But y'all comment below if y'all, if you're watching on YouTube, if you know of an unwritten rule I'm missing out. But I feel like that is the overwhelming one. It would be hard to police that if you made it an actual written rule, on that deal. But I think one of the others would be, you don't, like if you know what your buddy's catching them on, you don't tell somebody else kind of thing. Or if you're sharing information, we see this a lot, guys share information in the trails they're allowed to. Of course, like BPT, you can't. You're not supposed to talk to your bros about what you're catching them on. But it's also very not cool if somebody says, hey, I'm catching them on the 6-inch crankbait, that you go tell 50 other guys in the field, and there are those guys out there, what you're catching, what your buddy's catching them on. So that's definitely one of those unwritten things too. If you're in one of these little like cliques, you don't run your mouth. You don't run your mouth. Snitches get stitches. That's what I say. Snitches get stitches. But, I talked last week, though, about that in MLF. There seems to be, at BPT, there's this overwhelming, I'm hearing a lot about guys are kind of sick of that rule because it takes the fun out of tournament fishing a lot. And I know it's a job and it's professional and you want to keep it as clean as you can keep it, I guess. But part of why we all do this, why we enjoy this kind of brotherhood, is when we get to tournaments, we like to BS. We all like to sit around, talk about how we're catching them, what's going on. And if you've got guys you trust, you can become this squad that can go out there and kind of break down a lake quickly. And BPT tried to eliminate that, but there's always been tale and rumors that there are guys that play by it and guys that don't. And I think about half the field, from what I've heard, kind of over that. They want to, they're so scared to talk because you could get DQ'd and they have lie detector tests and things like that. And these guys are just always super nervous, and it takes away from that fun factor of just hanging out with your buddies, because everybody wants to just talk fishing. That's what we do. When you're at a tournament, you talk about fishing. That's what you talk about. You may talk about a fishing trip you went on 2 years ago, or you may talk about what's actually going on that week, but you talk about fishing, and really they're not allowed. And that's just kind of weird for a lot of guys and frustrating, especially if you think that there are other people not abiding by those rules. But I got told a story this week that I wanted to share. And I'm not the names will be left out to protect those that are innocent or not innocent, however you want to look at it. But a very good friend of mine shared some time with a group of anglers on the Bass Pro Tour. And we were talking about this very rule this week. And it was some guys that I've heard other anglers just, and I think a lot of it's a jealousy thing because these guys really catch them a lot. But there's this thing around them that they do talk more than not. And this friend of mine spent a week with them at an event this year. And he said the level of paranoia that they have and the links that they go through to make sure they do not break that rule is, he said, like, it was exhausting. He said, man, like I felt like I was going to do something wrong. And he was just there for the week helping out, and he said that it was just absolutely mind-blowing at the level these guys went to make sure they didn't hear what the other was talking about fishing-wise, that they weren't in the room. Like if they came in to tell their wife on the phone what that nobody was around. So I found that very, very interesting, and a lot of respect for hearing about that. You know, that's definitely something that comes into question a lot in that league. I hear that a ton, and this really good friend of mine, trustworthy source, was like, I can tell you right now, you may hear things, but from the week I spent around certain guys, they really make sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So pretty cool to hear. But, it's a very hard rule to police too. And I mentioned this last week, and somebody was like, well, people should wear GoPro, lie detectors. This was a comment. It was a great comment, but they were like, well, lie detectors aren't even admissible in court and polygraphs. And so guys should just wear GoPros all the time. Well, on an information type situation, you can't. So the only way to police it is with a polygraph. And, the rumor has been that you just pay a fine if you fail a polygraph a lot of times at MLF, and that doesn't work either. So I don't, that's a very hard one to police. And it's the same way on the Elite Series, same way the FLW. Those information things have always been this gigantic gray area that you can't police. You just can't police it, man. If a guy gets good at passing a polygraph, or he gets to skirt around it in some way, and that has gone on in the past. There have been very successful bass fishermen that, without a shadow of a doubt, show up at a lake and get handed waypoints or get put on the juice before practice ever starts, whether it's in the cut, not in the cutoff, whatever. Information-wise, it's very hard to police. And I can promise you, from years on the FLW tour, that goes on way more than any other, I don't want to say any other sport, but more than any fan would know, I think. More than any casual viewer would know how much that help goes on. Now, you can get all the help in the world, you still got to catch bass, and everybody at that level can really catch bass, right? But there are definitely guys that get a lot of information, whether there's a no info rule or not. It just happens. It just happens. It's always going to happen. It's happened since the beginning of it. If you dangle those trophies and the money out there, and then you have this constant drive for sponsor money and to always be on top and to always perform, people get desperate. They get desperate. And if they're having a tough practice, I think that people lean on local help a lot more than folks, realize. And it's one of those gray areas. Not even gray. It's against the rules in most trails, but it is so damn hard to police, man. So hard to police. But I do think it goes on way more than folks realize. For sure. And I can tell you an event this week going on that local help would not have done you any good in, and that's the Bassmaster Elite Series over at Guntersville. I've been glued to it because obviously Tennessee River Rats say it all the time, but it's not surprising how they're catching them, because they're catching them ways I really like to fish over there. But right now, this exact week normally is an absolute freaking ledge fishing beatdown. 100 fish a day typically can happen, right? Big schools, doubles on big crankbaits and things. Crazy. Typically, this week on the calendar, it's maybe a little shad spawn, but just, buddy, hang on. This offshore bite's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. And this week, right now at time of recording, I'm recording on Sunday like I typically do here. And right now, and he's blowing it out. So I'm just going to tell him congratulations. But Caleb Kupal has an estimated 82 pounds right now on Bass Track. Luke Palmer's in second. But he's just back 17 pounds, 4 ounces officially. So congratulations to Caleb. But Luke Palmer, Brandon Cobb, Greg Hackney, Chris Zaldane, Jason Christie, Wes Logan, Tyler Rivette, Shane Lineberger, and Chris Johnson all made the top 10 there. And it's just been this flipping, frogging, shad spawn brim bed tournament. I text Zona earlier today. I'm like, dude, this has been one of my favorite Guntersville tournaments just because it's different. And seeing how they had to adapt on the fly to figure this lake out was so cool. And I think that's why you got just a hodgepodge of guys in there that you don't expect maybe on the Tennessee River to pound them. And I think guys like Swindle who made the cut, I know G was probably gearing up for an offshore deal. I saw David Mullins made the cut as well. These guys know the Tennessee River well. Chris Zaldane, I think the lone guy in the top 10 that's really just stuck with the offshore game for the most part from what I've seen watching this week. But really kind of a shocking event to see. But Brandon Kopp, great shallow water, like brim bed fisherman, South Carolina. But Hackney's been flipping them up. Jason Christie with a spinning rod, another top 10. And if it wasn't for the St. Johns River slip, where he finished just outside the cut, this Angler of the Year race would be a lot tighter going up north. But freaking Seth Fighter's got a lead that won't quit. So, and going up north, Zona said this morning on live, I think that we're going to have to manufacture some drama for the AOI race, and I could not agree more. I think that's probably going to be the case once they take that swing going to St. Lawrence and Champlain. I think Seth will come out on top and well-deserved hell of a year, man. He missed the top 10 here, but not by much, and it's been fun watching him just put it all together everywhere they've been, and now they get to go smallie fishing and northern largemouth fishing, and we've seen Seth, really shine up there for the last few years. So, super cool event there at Guntersville, but congrats to Caleb, who for sure is going to walk away with it today. And first time, I think, a Wisconsin angler has won. But flipping grass, flipping mats, it's been more like a fall tournament. If you fish Guntersville, this week has really played like a fall event on Guntersville. Pads and frogging mats and flipping milfoil and been really cool. Been a really cool event. So congrats to all the guys that caught them up. But it's always fun watching Hackney on live too. I just like to put that out to the side. It's been a fun event. BPT down at Harris Chain. Not got to watch it a ton. B Height smashing on a chatterbait, no doubt. B Height delight in full effect down there in one group, and then Bobby Lane, no shocker there, smashing in the other group. And they're still fishing. I think today's the second day for that first group with B Height on top of that right now as we're recording. He's looks like he's backed off the throttle, but looks like he could indeed back off the throttle because he caught like 1,000 the first day. He has like 98 pounds right now. 41 bass for 98 pounds. You do the math. I don't have time. Not even sure what that even means. But caught like 34 bass the first day. Of course, 2-pounders, I guess. Todd Faircloth, Brent Chapman, James Elam, Mike O'Neill. Jeff Sprague out there just catching them. Stephen Brown and Little Alton. Randall Tharp. Boyd Duckett. Boyd. Call me, and we'll definitely talk about your week. Paulie Elias, Dustin Connell, no shocker there. Britt Myers, who caught like a 9.5-pounder. Kyle Hall, one of the FLW boys. MDJ, Randy Howe, Josh Bertrand, little Johnny Van Dam in 20th. So they're fishing down there. Harris Chain, I'm gonna watch the last couple days to try to get dialed up for MPFL Live because we go there week after this week. We start down there on the first week of June. So ready to head down there. MPFL at the Harris Chain coming up, and we've got a guest host that week. Double D can't make it. He's got a BPT event, got a conflict. He's going to be up at Chickamauga, so no David Dudley live, but we got a good one. And that'll be announced this week on the MPFL social, and we may do an interview with that person next week to get geared up, but it's going to be somebody that y'all, if y'all listen to podcasts at all, y'all know y'all are going to enjoy every second of that from down at the Harris Chain. I think our guys are going to smash, man. Looking at those weights, they're catching some big ones down there. Absolutely just smashing on them down at the freaking Harris Chain. So can't wait to see what we do in a 5-fish format. Reset a camera. Got to reset it. You just always got to reset a camera. We ran out of time right there on the camera. We're going to get some new equipment here soon, I promise you. Chris Mitchell. All right. So, speaking of Harris Chain, I'm going to shoot him a text real quick. Let's see. So, speaking of the Bassmaster and Harris Chain, BPT, just all around. So, this guy, one of my best, just favorite people in the entire fishing industry, world, outside of fishing, whatever. Just a great human being. And he's a madman. He is an absolute psychopath, basically, this year. He's fishing everything. I'm tired just watching his schedule. I said that when we had him on earlier in the year. But one of my favorite guys to talk to about bass fishing, and I had to get him on the show this week. I'm grateful that he had an off day because he rarely does. He just wrapped up the Elite Series at Guntersville, got a check there, and drove all night home to the Harris Chain to fish his group with the Bass Pro Tour. Ended up 7th after day 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for an official COX Watch. We're going to get him on the phone right now. The craziest man in bass fishing history. Coming in hot on the LBO hotline. If we can get him to answer right now.
Hey, man.
John, you're out of your mind, Cox. What are you doing?
Oh, man, just today was an off day.
And I bothered you.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's still, I haven't had any time. I honestly haven't like changed the oil in my motor or truck or anything. So I've been like, man, today's the day I'm going to try to knock all that out. So.
Does your truck still have 4 tires?
Yeah, it does still have 4 tires, but they did get my my catalytic converter. They chopped that off in Orange, Texas.
Come on, really?
Oh yeah. They cut that off when I was sleeping one night. I usually stay at somewhat rough places. When I stay with Benji, whatever's the cheapest.
No doubt.
And Orange, Texas, I was like, you know what? It's like Easter week or whatever, and I'm like, man, I'm going to splurge. I'm going to go Holiday Inn Express and get a nice place.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. And I come out the next morning and they got mine, Lester's, and like 10 other people in the parking lot. Just cut them right out. Yeah. So went straight to having like, it sounded just like those monster trucks from, Monster Jam or whatever.
Yeah. Your Gravedigger.
Like
Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw.
It's still not fixed.
Dude, are you still rocking the Gravedigger?
I tried to drive it. I had to drive it like 5 hours to the next tournament that was over, a fort. But I got about 20 minutes down the road and I was feeling a little lightheaded. And I think a lot of that exhaust was coming in through the cab. So they went and I flew home and they put an aftermarket one on. They kind of just rigged it. And, it's like, it's ticking. It sounds like it's an old truck, but, it's still going, so I can't complain.
John, I feel like with this year, I do my COX Watch update every week because you're fishing every week somewhere in the world. Right. And I feel like this is the update we all needed. Like I said before introing you coming on, I'm like, we got to get a COX Watch update from the man himself. We're almost finished with the Elite Series. How many more do you got with BPT? Like 3?
So Lake Guntersville was the halfway point.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess. I feel like there's a lot more Bass Pro Tour ones left.
I think so. Yeah.
I think we're only 3, so maybe there's 4 more of those. 2 more Elites and two more Pro Circuits, maybe, or something. So
how are we standing right now? I've been keeping up. You've had a couple of rough ones, and then you've had some really good ones. We got a win in there. You're really. My prediction was you would win 7. We still got time for that.
We still
got time. We can do that this week. We can get number 2 at the BPT. We got close at Travis.
Right.
Gave them hell at Travis. But let me ask you, dude, because it is uncharacteristic of you. Like at Pickwick, you had a rough one. And that's not your deal. Like you are a very, very, very consistent dude for most of your career. Do you think fishing this much has hurt in any sense? Like, or do you feel like you just had some missed opportunities? Like, walk me through like a couple of the bad ones. Like, what do you attribute that to?
Well, Pickwick was, I guess that was the first really bad one we had. And it was right after winning on Smith.
Right after, yeah.
And what's mind blowing is, and then, what's his name? Bill Lowen ends up winning Pickwick pretty much on the same setup that I won Smith the week before.
Yes, that's right.
Pretty much the exact same, Berkeley, meat chunk, everything. And so I don't know what happened at Pickwick. It almost was like as I won at Smith, and I got this idea that I was going to win at Pickwick.
Yeah.
And I just overdid it completely. Moved too much. I caught one fish the first day.
And you guys had changing conditions like crazy there too.
Yeah,
like the flood conditions and.
Yeah, and something I also learned going into another one I did really bad was Rayburn. No practice, jumped right into it, and I was just mentally exhausted. And I think realizing that a lot now, making bad decisions. When you're that tired, is so easy. I mean, you can make the smallest decision and just completely ruin your tournament. I mean, that's how easily it can go wrong. And, I kind of learned from those couple. And at that point, after day 2 of practice, I was just so could not think straight. I was angry. Everybody I saw, I'm like, man, the guy's pulling it on me. And it was just awful. I was so cranky. So I got up the next morning and I had a flat tire on my trailer. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to deal with it. I'm going back to sleep. And I went back to sleep for like 6 or 7 hours. Went and got the trailer fixed, got out, half day that day of practice. And I felt like $1 million, felt a lot better. And kind of, when I got to Paris, I just wasn't as exhausted if I wouldn't have took that little break and made sure I slept. So.
That's good, dude. I think you hear a lot, a lot of guys that are either in peak physical shape or whatever. They talk about rest, rest being important. And I read there's a college angler that I follow around and on Instagram, and he was doing that, like just going, and he won a big college tournament on Cumberland, and then he went to a BFL overnight, did okay, but then he had to turn around and go to Smith Lake for another college event. And I saw him post, he's like, man, I think rest really does matter. He's like, because you make bad decisions, and I know everybody listening to that, man, everybody listening to this can say, oh, dude, I mean, we've all been there where you're just past the point of exhaustion. But what you're doing, there's no tired in life like fishing tired. Like, I don't think, dude, fishing, like the hardest workers in the world, I think when you go 14-hour days of practice, especially this time of year in the heat, you're running around, but between the physical exhaustion, but the mental exhaustion that fishing can put you through because of the decisions you have to make, dude, I think that being that tired at the end of the day, there's nothing like that to me.
Right.
And so I can't imagine getting in the car and then driving to the Harris chain.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I know. And I just, I felt I really, getting that little bit of rest, during Guntersville, realizing at Guntersville, that was my first time I've gotten a check there besides the class.
I saw that.
I got a check. So, so that was, knowing that and saying, hey, I just need to get a check, but don't kill myself in practice. And I've always killed myself in practice there all the other times, and just try to find something where I can, get a check and be ready for the next one. And, it was good. I mean, yesterday, I honestly, on Harris yesterday, I landed on them every time I stopped, and
so
I probably
cool.
should have had 60 or 70 pounds, but I kept missing them. But I mean, it was still good. It still went good, but I was pretty tired yesterday.
No kidding, dude. I can't imagine. Did you get down? Did Melissa drive you down there?
Yeah. So she flew into Atlanta, and then I drove right after weigh-in. I left, and it was like 2.5, 3 hours. I picked her up, and then she drove all through the night pretty much. And then we got to Leesburg at like 4 a.m, and we checked into the hotel and slept for like an hour and a half, and then went to take off. And as soon as we got there, they were just starting the pledge or the anthem or whatever. And I like jumped out of the car, and it was such perfect timing.
You put your hand over your heart. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey guys, Boyd, check me in. I'm here. Present and accounted for. Like when they call roll in elementary school, man. That's so crazy, dude. I was thinking about you yesterday when I started seeing you climbing up Score Tracker, and I'm like, dude, how is he even upright? Like, how is he upright right now? Oh, incredible.
I honestly, because, I was, like, running to where I was going to fish, and, like, it kind of felt like I was in a dream. Like, kind of foggy, and I'm like, but I'm just taking it nice and slow, because, I don't want to run into anybody or anything. But, and then I start fishing, and I'm I just feel like I'm not there,
Yeah.
And then I caught, like, one that was almost 7. And I was like, there's no way this is happening. It had like a 10-pounder head on it. It was a big fish. But, and when I caught that fish, it was like, all of that went away. And I was just like, I like went right into, we're going to catch it today.
Kill mode. You went into John Cox kill mode.
Yeah, it felt good. And then when they pulled the camera from me after the first period, I was like, are you kidding me? We're getting ready to wreck them. It was a little more fuel to the fire. It was fun.
That's awesome, dude. So with that format there where they do the Group A and then Group B, and then they take the top 8 from the elimination round, after the 2 guys win the rounds or whatever, they automatically advance. Are you guys, I know they've done this in the past, so on the top 10 day, if you get to make it there, will everybody fish the entire Harris chain, or are they putting y'all somewhere different, or what's the deal this week? Because I know they like to mix stuff up.
Yeah, I know there was talk about, like setting this all somewhere the last day, but I think they canceled that plan. And,
okay.
But I honestly, I don't even know. I didn't even know what we were going out of until, 8 o'clock the night before. I had no idea. I mean, I wasn't sure what the plan was, but I'm pretty sure we're going out of Venetian Gardens there on Harris every day.
So do you, in that situation, no practice, obviously grew up fishing the Harris chain. You're fantastic there, but did you already know in your mind, like, this is the first place I'm going to go check because that's where they should be? Or did you just, like, when you put the boat in the water, you look at the water temperature and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go here. How did you make that decision?
Well, it was actually really funny. Like, I was thinking, we're in May. Me and Keith fished tons of teen tournaments there in May. And we've never been able to win in May, because they seem like they move out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking, man, I just need to survive, just catch something the next couple days, and try to just get a check out of this one. And I kind of just jumped in and like took myself on one of my old like guide trips I would do, like the little milk run I would make, and like I just took myself on it. And
that's crazy.
And I was just like the same like rotation I would do on a guide trip. I just did it, and because we haven't gone there I haven't been to Harris since I guess March last year or whatever. So it was kind of, I don't know. It was amazing.
That's awesome, dude. That's like living that reliving that history, and it worked out.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, cause I caught some on right. I almost felt like I could have called my cast, and I was like, and I was like, just like to myself, I was like, gosh, I caught so many big ones right here. And then I'd get one. I was like, oh my God.
That's so wild.
Cool day. Yeah.
Did Keith? Well, no, Keith can't be on the water. I was like, was Keith out there rooting y'all? But he's in the off limits because of MPFL.
Yeah, I think he's in his off limits.
Yeah.
And so I mean, because they're what, you guys are next week? Or
next week they start practice on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. I know Keith's probably glued to that live though.
yeah, probably. I'm like, oh no, don't go there.
Exactly. He's like, no, John, there. Stop it.
Yeah,
John,
no, stop.
Damn it, John.
He was probably the one that's like, they gotta pull his camera.
He's like, yeah. Please go to the middle of the lake, John. Please go out in the middle and fish some stuff. I'm going to tell on him. I don't know if you got to. I'm sure you haven't got to listen to it. You've been too busy. But I had Keith on last week, And he said the words, learning to Carolina rig for the MPFL event. And I said, hey, Keith, hey, buddy, you may get kicked out of the bro squad with you and John Cox over that statement on Low Budget Live. I was blown away by it. I almost hung up on him for saying it. It was so disappointing because you shallow water gurus just don't do that. And he goes, yeah man, I feel like I got to be offshore some. And I was like, Keith, wake up, buddy. Wake up. It's funny, man. That was good.
He was probably just getting it out of his system.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he was like, I've been playing with different weight configurations and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I know you got to be proud of him, man. Big win down at Wright Patman.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think going into Harris? You think is that just when I'm on MPFL Live? Do I need to talk about anybody else, or is it just going to be the Keith Carson show down there again?
I don't. I mean, when Keith gets dialed there, he seems to do really well, especially the weekend series, and even when we fish together. I mean, he always pulled through and stuff. So he'll probably do really good. I honestly think a lot of the guys that honestly did well. In this last one, the Wright Patman one, I really think a lot of those guys are going to do well too, because it's going to be those guys that are going to flip the Kissimmee grass. And like some of those guys that are just going to throw the trolling motor in and they're going to just go down the bank and they're just going to flip along. Those guys, I think they're going to do well. I think the flippers are going to definitely shine.
That's awesome.
I'm sure some of the offshore guys will probably do okay too. But just what I noticed, just fishing yesterday, which it could really change in the next week.
In a week,
but, but it just seemed like it didn't seem like anybody was like out in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
It seemed like even the guys that caught them out, they were kind of like, they were still close to that Kissimmee grass. So
very cool.
So I don't know.
Well, I would like to see in year one a back-to-back champ. I think that would be cool to see Keith. And man, I tell you, getting to watch him on live, you guys have such a unique approach to shallow water fishing. I feel like, and he is. You guys are you're cut from the same mold, man. It was fun. Dudley and I just kept looking at each other, just behind the scenes, like, damn, man, like we're getting an education here, truly. Because you think about like a guy like Dudley, and I told Keith this last week. He's been doing this forever. When he's seeing Keith do stuff and he's like smiling ear to ear, you're like, yeah, that's special. Yeah, that's special right there. Those moments. So, dude, couldn't be more proud of you for pulling off this madman thing. I've got to say, though, are you going to attempt this next year? Like right now today, waking up, you drove all night, you fished Harris. Is this something you would think about next year?
I mean, as of right now, I'm not. I was getting a little burned out there at Gunnersville.
I bet.
But man, I'm telling you, like when I got to Harris and went to catching them, I just can't imagine. Like I try to think to myself, man, if I would have missed this tournament, missed that tournament. I mean, because you look at the ones I would have missed. Like, so say I would have not done pro circuit, and then we got that win on Smith.
No doubt.
And then it's like, and then here if I didn't do.
You had a good one at Eufaula,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's there's just a lot of those days that I'm at the point where I think I'm okay with having those few rough ones to make up for some of the other ones.
No doubt. I get that. I
Yeah.
get that, man. You got to go through it to get to it, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
And now you got Chick coming up too.
I got Chick next week after this one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting.
No doubt.
I mean, they're probably going to be a little bit out, but there might be a few on the bank, and that's the thing. Like, I don't, even like this tournament here. Like, yesterday I caught 7 bass for 29 pounds, and I had 2 like 1/8 in there. So I caught big ones yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm still hanging in there with some of the other guys. So
they're putting up numbers.
It was kind of exciting with thinking about Chick coming up too.
No doubt.
Maybe I can just go fish for big ones.
No doubt, dude. I guarantee it. And then there's a little tournament after that. Let's see, what do they call it? The Bassmaster Classic. Yeah. You get to fish that in June as well, and another big fish fishery. Yeah. You starting to get a little fired up?
Yeah, dude, I am.
You and Keith. That's gonna be cool.
I know that one is gonna be really cool, and I thought it was gonna be funny because we're probably like there's a 90% chance we'll probably be fishing near each other.
No doubt.
So I think it will be really cool, being able to communicate throughout the day, back and forth with each other. So
yeah.
I think that will be neat, because I mean, shoot, dude, if he wins, it'll be, I'll be as happy as if I win.
No doubt, man.
So I'll just, that one is going to be fun.
I can't wait to see how that plays out for y'all down there. And I'm just glad he got a boat and he doesn't have to fish with you.
I know. He actually just brought back my boat yesterday. I didn't get to see him, but I saw it on the side of the house.
Then he painted his name on the side.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that thing got some use.
Yes.
So.
You guys need to put that one in the Hall of Fame. That one has had some bass in it.
Right.
And some W's. One quick thing, buddy, before I let you go, because I know life is crazy. You rescheduled on me a little bit this morning because of Chipotle. The only thing that you said, I'm going to Chipotle. I told Marissa, the triple threat, I said, this is the most John Cox text ever. Hey, man, you were apologetic because you're just the nicest guy I know. And you're like, hey, man, sorry, I'm going to go eat Chipotle and I'm going to be a little late for the interview. Can we move it back? And I'm like, yes, John, of course. You're taking time of your day off, but that's just who you are. But the only thing, I had to get this, and this probably a lot of people turn the podcast off because of this, but this is all I think about with Chipotle. I can't make it out of the parking lot, man, before I'm in the truffle shuffle, headed to the damn bathroom. How are you going to do that and then fish tomorrow? Because Chipotle, dude, it wrecks me. And that is like an urban legend that goes around Chipotle on the internet. Like everybody's like, well, if you go into Chipotle, it's like, a colonic. You gonna get cleansed out. Like, I mean, is that what you're trying to do right now? Like,
no, I mean, I don't know if my stomach got just so used to it. I know if you
all the road food.
Yeah, I mean, if you let off the queso, it's usually not that bad. The queso.
Oh, that's the tip. Okay.
Yeah, so you go light on the queso.
Yes.
No queso.
Okay.
You can usually.
You can survive
pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
But I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna not have to go midday tomorrow. You know what I'm
on
saying?
camera. It's
happening. I mean, we get them 15 minutes breaks. It's great. Like I planned, like I'm Travis. I planned my day around where I would be near a bathroom at my 15-minute break. And
well, Harris Chain, you got to be careful because there ain't nothing but houses unless you know somebody you can go in their bathroom at their house. Somebody's going to watch you hanging off the Crestliner, dude. It's going to happen.
That's true.
You can't hide.
There won't be much hiding there.
There's no canal you can hide in Leesburg, man.
Yeah, that's right.
My gosh! All right, buddy. I had to ask. My wife said, "Well, I know you ain't going to Chipotle during a tournament." I'm like, "No, ma'am, ain't happening." Ain't happening.
Yeah.
John Cox can pull it off because he can pull off anything. You're the miracle maker this year, buddy.
Oh gosh.
Oh, dude. Well, I appreciate you very much, man. Giving me some time. You and the family have a great rest of the day. I know you said you got to do something with Watson today. Tell him I said he should quit the sport of bass fishing because he's terrible. And I want that documented because he tells me that weekly. Every time I post a bass on Instagram, he's like, "You suck. You should stop. Why are you still doing this?" And I tell him the same. We're really good at running our mouth, not as good at catching bass as guys like John Cox. Oh, me. Thank you, buddy. Best of luck this week. Make the top 10.
All right. Thanks.
All right, buddy. I'll see you. Talk soon.
See you guys.
See you, man.
Bye.
John Cox. Oh, man. He's the best. He is the best. I've had him on the show so many times. And that's just, it's so much fun getting to do this for y'all and getting to do this with my buddies like John Cox and all the great anglers I get to talk to, man. So much fun. But thanks to John for coming on. Thanks to y'all for listening. It's much appreciated. Week in, week out, you low-lifers for showing up and listening to me ramble, listening to me rant, and listening to the great guests that come on LBL. So hope you all have a good week. Want to remind you real quick about Bass for Beckers. Bass for Beckers is a charity for children with muscular dystrophy, and I am their May giveaway. So you can buy a $25 ticket. You get a chance at a brand new Skeeter bass boat that will be given away later this fall. But this month, if you buy a ticket in the month of May, bassforbeckers.com, a chance for a fishing trip. All expenses paid with me on the Tennessee River. So go scoop those up. Really appreciate the support. One other quick thing. before we go, Boats and Pros coming back very soon. I know a lot of y'all messaged me about that. Very, very soon. We got the green light. 6 new Boats and Pros episodes before the year's out. You can probably start looking for those in like July. But fixing to get after it, filming. We've got a great guest list and lining up some pretty good boats too. So can't wait for that. I will see y'all at the Classic in a couple weeks. Mark that on your calendar, June 12th. Also got a super sneaky little music drop coming out too if you like Biloxi Blues, and we'll take you out with it today. And we're going to get y'all some new tunes to listen to very soon. Remember, hug your mama. And thank y'all. And I'll see y'all next time.
Jackson Town to Tupelo, I never could make it last. Spanish moss, a Civil War ghost, well, I'm gonna leave them in the past. Any direction, Lord, I'll be fine. It don't matter, east or west. North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care, no, I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas.